Fullerton Junction is where the Surfline leaves the San Bernardino subdivision and turns to the south towards San Diego on Metrolink's Orange subdivision. The San Bernardino subdivision continues east to San Bernardino. A BNSF rock train has just passed Fullerton Junction as it proceeds eastbound on the San Bernardino sub. Back on the Surfline, Metrolink F59PH number 859 leads a southbound weekend train by the Orangethorpe crossing, having just passed through Fullerton Junction. The next station, just 5 miles away, is Anaheim. A half-mile down on the north side of Anaheim, the La Mirada local switches tank cars at a chemical plant. With so many passenger trains, most of the freight trains on the Surfline south of Fullerton run at night. In between the present-day Fullerton and Anaheim Amtrak stations, Union Pacific's former Anaheim station stands just west of the Orange subdivision. The building was constructed in 1923 and moved from the UP Anaheim branch to its present-day site in 1991. Metrolink and Amtrak trains fly by on a daily basis without stopping. Santa Fe's former Anaheim station was torn down in 1978 and once stood in this same location. With Angels Stadium in the background, northbound Pacific Surfliner Train 581 crosses the Diamond with the Union Pacific's former Southern Pacific branch to Orange and Tustin as it continues toward Fullerton and Los Angeles. Union Pacific's Costa Mesa local train LOA 32 is the only freight to use this branch. This train originates in UP's Anaheim Yard a few miles to the west. It traverses the Diamonds to cross over to the east side of the Orange subdivision to switch out several industries. On a sunny spring morning, the local is seen having just switched Ganal Lumber and ABC Supply Company off of Cerritos Avenue. Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure are both visible in the background. Having cleared the switch to the industry spur, the local shoves back across the Orange sub. On Mondays and Wednesdays, the LOA 32 travels south on the Surfline between Anaheim and Santa Ana to reach the Santa Ana Industrial Lead. This is the only Union Pacific train to travel over a portion of the Surfline. Back on the Surfline, a southbound Orange County Line train passes the junction where the Costa Mesa local enters the Orange sub for its trip from Anaheim to Santa Ana. The train rolls by the platforms of the former Anaheim Amtrak station located next to the parking lot for Angels Stadium. Anaheim Regional Transportation Intermodal Center, known as ARTIC, was completed in 2014. This modern-looking structure replaced the former Amtrak-built station that was located just to the other side of the 57 freeway. ARTIC serves as a regional hub for multiple modes of transportation, including Amtrak, Metrolink, Orange County Transit Authority, and Anaheim Regional Transportation. The station is centrally located in Anaheim, with both Angels Stadium and the Honda Center Arena situated to either side of the complex. From here, the Surfline heads to the east across the Santa Ana River and into the city of Orange. A mile southeast from the Anaheim station is Olive Junction. On the railroad, the junction is known as CP, or Control Point Maple. This is where the Metrolink Olive subdivision connects to the Orange subdivision. The short 5-mile Olive subdivision carries Metrolink and Inland Empire Orange County Line, or IEOC, trains from the BNSF San Bernardino subdivision at Atwood to the Surfline in Orange. Metrolink's IEOC line travels in between San Bernardino and Oceanside, sharing the Orange sub with Orange County Line trains and the BNSF San Bernardino sub with the 91 line as far as Riverside. In addition to Metrolink, all through BNSF freight traffic to and from San Diego uses the Olive subdivision. The only BNSF train to use the Orange sub between Fullerton Junction and Orange is the La Mirada Local, which runs all the way down to an industrial park in Tustin on Wednesday nights. Union Pacific's Costa Mesa Local comes around the curve as it heads towards Santa Ana. The crossing at Walnut Avenue has been upgraded with enhanced safety features including additional lights, gates, fences, and a raised central median. This was part of a project in 2011 to improve all railroad crossings on the Surfline in Orange County. Most crossings received these same safety improvements in an effort by many cities to establish railroad quiet zones, with some crossings being grade separated or closed entirely. In a quiet zone, train engineers are no longer required to sound the locomotive air horn when approaching a crossing, although they are still allowed to do so in the case of an emergency. Metrolink's IEOC line train 800 heads north out of the Orange station and onto the Olive subdivision. The last of Metrolink's 40 F-125 locomotives entered service in 2020. Having completed its work in Santa Ana, the Costa Mesa Local returns north toward Anaheim. Moving briefly about 4 miles to the north on the Olive subdivision, an Oceanside-bound Metrolink train on the IEOC line crosses a bridge over the Santa Ana River, having just left the Anaheim Canyon station. From treetop level, the Orange Subdivision and CP Maple are both visible, as well as the San Gabriel Mountains in the distance. Metrolink Orange County Line train number 682 en route to Mission Viejo approaches the station at Orange. Pulling this train is an F59 PH locomotive that used to belong to Go Transit in Toronto. This was one of 3 units leased by Metrolink from 2013 through 2020 to fill in for the commuter railroad's own locomotives. On a different day in November of 2018, a BNSF executive train heads south. This train was destined for San Diego to bring several short-line railroad executives on a brief day trip from San Diego to San Juan Capistrano and return. Orange Station is located right next to Chapman University in the Old Town district of the city of Orange. The former Santa Fe Depot was completed in 1938 and is now used as the Streamliner Lounge. Northbound Amtrak train 581, bound for Los Angeles, rolls through Orange with several older historic structures in the background. From Orange, the Surf Line heads due south towards Santa Ana. The route travels underneath California State Route 22 and across Santiago Creek. This area was part of a massive double tracking project that was undertaken by Metrolink from 2004 through 2006 and resulted in the completion of 2 main tracks on the Orange subdivision from Fullerton Junction all the way to Mission Viejo, greatly improving operational flexibility and decreasing delays caused by train meets. The LOA 32 rolls towards Santa Ana across a new cement bridge that was installed as part of this project. Santa Ana Station was opened in 1985, replacing the former Santa Fe Depot, which once stood about 2 blocks to the south. The structure incorporates elements of Mission Revival architecture that harkens back to an era when many similar stations were being constructed on the Surf Line. Today, the station is home to Amtrak, Metrolink, Greyhound, and local bus lines, and will soon be the terminus of the new Orange County streetcar project. The pedestrian overcrossing at the station was built as part of an improvement project in 2006. Amtrak 770 from Goleta makes its station stop in Santa Ana on a sunny spring morning. On its approach into the station, the train passes the crossovers at CP Lincoln and then rolls over Interstate 5. In this scene from early 2011, two 3GS21B genset locomotives have the Costa Mesa local moving south through Santa Ana. Union Pacific has removed most of these locomotives from service as of 2023. Just before reaching Chestnut Avenue, the train leaves the Surf Line and enters the Santa Ana Industrial Lead. This is more trackage that used to belong to the Southern Pacific Railroad's complex network of lines through Orange County. A portion of the industrial spur used by the local to access an industry in South Santa Ana once belonged to the Pacific Electric. Continuing on, the tracks make a diagonal across Orange County in a southeasterly direction, passing through Tustin, Irvine, and Mission Viejo. This is one of the fastest stretches of track on the Surf Line with a maximum authorized speed of 90 miles per hour. Northbound Metrolink train 858 flies through South Santa Ana, sounding the horn for the last public grade crossings in Orange County that have not yet become a quiet zone. Amtrak train number 572 passes through Red Hill just minutes after leaving Santa Ana. To the left is the spur track to the Tustin Industrial Park, served by the La Mirada local. Located at the Edinger Avenue and Jamboree Road interchange, the Tustin station sees train service from Metrolink's Orange County and IEOC lines. Pacific Surfliner trains pass through this station at full speed. This portion of Orange County has gone through significant redevelopment over the last several decades. Where orange groves once stood, rows of houses, business parks, and shopping venues stretch on as far as the eye can see. To the east of here are the Santa Ana Mountains, including a two-peak formation that is known locally as Saddleback. West of the Tustin station is the former site of Marine Corps Air Station Tustin. The only clear visible evidence indicating that this was at one time an air station are two large aircraft hangars built in 1942. Both are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Charger locomotive 2115 has train 572 flying along as it passes through the Tustin station. In the summer of 2011, Metrolink's lone F40 makes a station stop at Tustin on the Orange County line. Urban sprawl is quite visible in this part of Orange County as housing tracts stretch on for miles along the Surf Line. Pacific Surfliner Train 564 speeds under the Yale Avenue overpass as it approaches the 90-mile-per-hour speed limit for this section of the line. On the north side of Irvine, a former bulk storage silo warehouse built in 1949 and once used to store beans has been incorporated into a La Quinta Inn hotel. The structure is on the National Register of Historic Places. During the 1940s, Irvine Ranch was the largest grower of lima beans in the world. In the spring of 2019, Metrolink F59PH number 871 pulls a Metrolink train south toward Oceanside. This is one of 7 Metrolink F59PH locomotives rebuilt from 2009 through 2011 by Motive Power Inc. to meet Environmental Protection Agency Tier 2 emissions standards. A few months prior, in October of 2018, Amtrak F59 PHI 460 has train 582 moving through Irvine in the afternoon light. On this day, train 582 was running with the single-level equipment set. Following a global reduction in passenger train services in March of 2020, the Lausanne Joint Powers Board voted to permanently end the lease of the single-level equipment from Amtrak. On the other side of Interstate 5, Amtrak train 583 slows for its station stop in Irvine on a cool winter afternoon. The Irvine Transportation Center was opened in June of 1990 and is situated next to the site of former MCAS El Toro. All Amtrak and Metrolink IEOC and Orange County Line trains make stops here. Some Metrolink trains also originate in Irvine. Metrolink's new Orange County maintenance facility is planned to be built just north of the station. A Pacific Surfliner train accelerates south out of Irvine, passing some of the last surviving farmland in Orange County. New development has already begun to the parcel of land on the east side of the tracks. In the not-too-distant future, this farm, like so many others over the last half-century, will live on only in memory. F125 number 933 brings a Metrolink IEOC line train up the slight 1% grade as it approaches the Alicia Parkway overpass on the northwest side of Mission Viejo. To the south of the overpass is Control Point Lettengarver, formerly CP Gallivan. These silver metal devices placed on the ties next to the rail are part of a train control system that dates back to the Santa Fe, known as Automatic Train Stop or ATS. Pickups attached to the locomotive pass by these magnetic inductors on the ground located next to a railway signal. If the signal is displaying anything other than a green, the engineer must take action or the train will be forced into a penalty emergency brake application. With the advent of positive train control, this system was deemed redundant and finally retired in 2021. Metrolink 600 from Los Angeles to Oceanside curves to the south under La Paz Road and Interstate 5, passing along the border between Laguna Hills and Mission Viejo. One of the newest stations on the Surf Line is Laguna Niguel Mission Viejo Station, which opened in 2002. Some Metrolink trains begin or end their journeys here, while others continue on to Oceanside. Amtrak does not stop at this station, as evidenced by train 784 flying through. Just after Mission Viejo, the Surf Line passes by Rancho Capistrano. This location used to mark the end of the second main track on the Orange subdivision and was designated as CP Avery. However, a track improvement project that was completed in 2020 resulted in the extension of double track to the north side of Trabuco Creek about 1.5 miles to the south. A trail in the hills behind a neighborhood provides this fantastic view of the south end of Mission Viejo and some farms on the north side of San Juan Capistrano. Below is Interstate 5, a major infrastructural artery that roughly follows the Surf Line all the way from Los Angeles to San Diego. Many sections of this busy freeway are built on the grade of US Highway 101. California State Route 73, a new toll road completed in 1996, splits away from I-5 here and serves as a cut-through to Interstate 405 on the other side of the San Joaquin Hills. The dense urban development in the distance, juxtaposed with the farmland in the foreground, creates an interesting contrast between Southern California of yesteryear and that of the present day. CP Trabuco, just north of Trabuco Creek, marks the end of the double-track section on Metrolink's Orange subdivision. At one time, there were plans to reroute the tracks along the creek and away from the city center of San Juan Capistrano so that the line through town could be double-tracked. For now, the railroad continues across Trabuco Creek and into the heart of San Juan Capistrano. In January of 2012, Amtrak P32-BWH-8 locomotive 509 pushes a Surfliner train north toward Los Angeles. The Amtrak-8 fleet was occasionally used over the years to fill in for out-of-service F-59 and P-42 locomotives. However, at the request of the Lausanne Joint Powers Authority, none of these units have been used on Pacific Surfliner trains to San Diego since the summer of 2018. San Juan Capistrano was at one time a quiet town that was a popular weekend getaway in southern Orange County. While the city is still a major destination for weekend leisure travel in the region, it has also grown significantly in recent decades as a bedroom community for the greater LA area. San Juan Capistrano's former Santa Fe station was completed in 1894 and is still standing as the oldest depot built in the Mission Revival style on the Surf Line. The building has been converted into a restaurant, and several pieces of vintage railroad equipment were brought in to accompany it. Today, the Amtrak ticket office and waiting room are housed at the north end of the platform inside two modified boxcars. All Pacific Surfliner and Metrolink trains stop at this station. Speaking of the Surfliner, Amtrak 774 rolls to a stop in San Juan Capistrano to pick up a large crowd of passengers.
Southbound. Don't get on the wrong train.
774 is one of two daily trains in each direction that traverse the entire Lausanne rail corridor from San Diego to San Luis Obispo. The FC44 Charger locomotives are very quiet when compared to more traditional diesel-electric units. Their fast acceleration can prove quite useful in commuter and intercity service where trains make frequent station stops. With everyone on board, the train pulls out of the station. It will meet northbound train 777 on a siding just south of here. The spur located at the station is not used for train meets, but occasionally houses stored maintenance equipment.